everyone, I'm Jodi and welcome to my channel. I'm really glad that you're here. So today's video is a really fun one because it was requested by a couple of you in the comment section below of other videos, primarily the video about eyeshadow, which I'll link right up here. So that's just a good reminder. If there are videos that you'd like to see me do, or there's things that you're interested in, just leave me a comment in the comment section below, and I read those comments almost every night and we'll respond back to you, and we'll certainly do a video if it is one that you're interested in. So today's video is all about brushes and my favorite brushes. Now, when I went to look at my brushes to decide, do I really have a favorite brand, it was harder to tell that than I thought it was going to be. So I took all of my eye brushes and laid them out, and then all of my face brushes and laid them out. And then I rolled them to see, I rolled them up so that you can kind of see the brand and go, gosh, I don't really have a brand that I love across the board. And I think part of the challenge with makeup brushes is when you buy them in a set, you'll get some that you'll use and you'll get some that you won't. Not unlike an eyeshadow palette, right? There's gonna be colors that you love and colors that you don't. So this is really gonna go through each of the brushes that I use for my face and my eyes, and then highlight which brand they are, and more importantly, the shape of each one of them, so that then you can start to figure out which ones you think that you would like most. I have not tried the brushes from Angie over at Hot and Flashy. She has a channel here on YouTube. She's phenomenal, very quality videos, so I have no doubt that her brushes will also be high quality. I just haven't been able to get my hands on them. They've been sold out, which means they're probably in pretty high demand. I do have a Wayne Goss brush that I do use from time to time. It's a high quality, beautiful brush. I just don't seem to reach for it as often as I do some of my daily brushes. So we're gonna get into it and go through each of the brushes. I'll also start out by saying I keep my brushes in a nice little glass jar, which you'll laugh because this glass jar may look eerily familiar to candle jars. Yes, from Bath and Body Works. After the candles are gone, I literally just wait till it gets hot all the way at the bottom and then pull out the wicks and clean it out real good. This plastic usually comes off, and then I will wash it, and that becomes a makeup holder for me. So I've got one of these for eyeliner and lip liner pencils, and eyebrow pencils are in that same one, and then one for brushes. So, recycling is always good, and that's just such a nice shape glass. And they come in different colors if you do want to have different colors. I just like clear because then I can see kind of any ones that have fallen short. And then to clean my brushes, I do clean them with this Cinema Secrets, and I'll link that video at the end of this one if you want to see that, of how I clean the brushes. I do try to keep my brushes relatively clean because I just don't want the extra bacteria on my face. So now let's get into the really fun stuff. So in terms of the eye brushes, the first ones that I reach for, and Sigma, I gotta say, I reach for a lot of my brushes are Sigma. So especially my face brushes, between Sigma, It Cosmetic brushes, and there's a couple MAC brushes in here, and then Morphe. Those are really what it boiled down to. Now, the first brush that stands out by itself is this Hourglass brush. It's a thicker brush, it's pretty dense, it's a very short handle, it's fat. And the reason I like this one, this is the one I use for any cream contour. And I hate to even say the name of the cream contour that I use right now because it is just not available. It's that NARS cream one that came out about a year ago and it's no longer available. However, there is a Charlotte Tilbury cream one that's really nice. It comes in a tube. It's also hard to get a hold of, but I would use this type of a brush, and again, this is by Hourglass, for any of my cream contour. Love this brush. Let's stick with face, and then we'll go to all the fun stuff for the eyes. So sticking with the face, I use a Kabuka brush. My Kabuka brush is a It Cosmetics Kabuka brush. I love that brush. It is clearly dirty because it's not here, but it's just the thick brush, Kabuka brush, It Cosmetics. I get them at Ulta. I find that a lot of my face brushes are actually It Cosmetics. The next one is this beautiful brush. This is a tapered powder brush. This is a loose powder brush, and I use, does it have a number on it? It is 225. And I love this one because of that tapered side to it. and because of the way it is to hold. For loose powder, this is a really nice application. It stays very fluffy even after I've had this for probably 2 years, and I clean it a lot with this Cinema Secrets. And it stays nice and fluffy even after I've washed it, you know, several times. So I love the way it holds in your hand. The way this indent right here is just perfect for your fingers. So I am a big fan of this for a powder brush. And I did get my nails done recently for holidays. You guys know me, I'm usually very white or light pink. And because it's holidays, I went with a little bit of gold and a gold finger with a little white snowflake. I just think they're cute. The gold is still a little too much for me. I just really like light colors, but I'm gonna embrace a little bit of, this is wild for me. That's about as wild as it gets. All right, let's go back to brushes. The next one is also an IT Cosmetics brush, and this is very similar to this face brush. It's just tapered a little bit more aggressively, and it has the smaller side, and I use this for powdered bronzer. So after I've done my face powder and I just want a little bit of bronzer, sort of that figure 8 that we've talked about before, that's where this comes in handy, and I will use this one. And then I like the smaller side of this because it allows me to really kind of contour and bronze, if you will, those cheekbones and then just this jawline without making sort of a big muddy mess with a wider brush. So I use this wider one for a real light bronzer. And then if I have any powder contour, I'll use this smaller one. So it's a really nice 2-in-1. Again, IT Cosmetics. Yeah, it might have had a number on it, but it is all wiped off. It is faded away because I use this one a lot. The next one is a MAC. This is MAC's 187S. This is a very light, now this is a foundation brush, but I don't use it for foundation. I use this for my highlighter, and I love it for highlighter because of how loose it is, and it's not that straight streak highlighter brush that sometimes I've used in the past, and I just feel like it just leaves me a little bit of a streak. This is nice and light. It allows me to be light-handed with highlighter, which is important because with highlighter as we age, it's beautiful, but it can look streaky on a more mature face, I find. So this is just a nice, soft, blurred out highlighter that almost goes on top of my blush, whether it's a cream blush or a powder brush, and just gives a nice glow. And then you can put here and here, which is definitely the look as we age, certainly going into winter of 2021 and 2022 is more of a natural glow. This will really help you do that with a nice highlighter. So this is a good highlighter brush. Again, it's built as a foundation brush, sold as a foundation brush, but used as a highlighter. And then the next one, almost the last one that I use, this is my blush brush, and this is also by IT Cosmetics. And I apologize, I don't think I have numbers on hardly any of these because I've used them for so long. I love them. I do get my IT Cosmetic brushes usually at Ulta. And this is just a small version almost of the big powder brush. Again, it's a nice taper brush with angles on both sides. And the reason I like this is my blush brush when I use a powder blush. And I like this one because of how easy it is to hold. IT Cosmetic brushes are really comfortable to hold. So I'll hold it right up here at the kind of the front where it has an indentation, just perfect for your fingers. And then I'll just put my blush on with this one because I just think it gives a nice contour. It sits on your cheek whether you put it straight. I tend to try to do it like this so that I get the benefit of that tapered brush across my cheeks. And this is perfect for that. So I love this. Again, I guess IT Cosmetics really does more of my face. Powders, Kabuka is my foundation brush. Now moving on to eyes, this was a little bit more diverse selection. Definitely Real Techniques came out as a big hit for me. There's 2 or 3 Real Technique brushes in here. And 2 of my favorite are this small one that's a very tightly put together angled brush, straight line. What I use this one for is when I go to put eyeshadow underneath my lashes. I like the density of this and that straight line so that I can control right where that shadow is going. And I'll also use this if I have an eyeliner, a cream or gel eyeliner underneath my eyes, and I really want to blend that out and blur it a little bit and soften it, then this is great for that because it's really hard, compact bristles. The next one for Real Techniques is, again, a tapered brush. This one's a lip smudge. I don't use it for a lip smudge. You guys, that's the great thing about brushes is even though they say they're for this or for that, use it for whatever feels most comfortable and it gives you the look that you want. Sort of like when an artist is painting, there's certain brushes for certain things, but at the end of the day, it's whatever feels the most comfortable and gives you the look that you want. Now, in that eyeshadow tutorial that I talked about, and again, I'll link that up here, it is that size brush is pretty critical, but the rest of the I think application of different makeup and different powders and creams is really more of personal preference. This one is a nice, small, dense brush. And what I use this one for is when I use a dark eyeshadow, right usually in this corner of my eye, and I just want a little extra color right there in that socket, that outer socket. That's what I'll use this for, and then I'll smudge it just a little bit because it's controlled and it's not so big that I don't end up with color everywhere that I don't want it. So that's really what I use this one for, is just that dark, you know, color there, and then I can just kind of pull it up that way. So Real Techniques was definitely a winner for me, and I do use Real Techniques in the sponges, in the beauty sponges. I love their beauty sponges because of this angle and because of the density. Once they're wet, they really do work nice. Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with Real Techniques. So that, and those you can buy in nice packages at Ulta. The next one that I found I reached for a lot without realizing that I did is Morphe brushes. Now this is the Morphe 421. And this is just a nice, thin, tapered brush. And what I like to use this one for is if I'm gonna put a real light coat of shadow right on my lid, and then I'll also put some highlight on this one and just go underneath my brows. Because of how small that tip is, it really does allow you nice control and good color payout without putting color all over in areas that you don't really like. So this is a good, important brush, I think, to have. Again, it's very tapered, but it gives you the control that you like. The next Morphe brush that I have is a Morphe 330, and this one is a must-have. Again, nice, big, fluffy, tapered brush. The reason I love this brush is because after I will put on all of my eyeshadow, whatever that looks like, whatever pattern or design or style I'm going with from a look that day, I will always go back in with a tapered brush, and you guys have seen me do this before, and just blur out the colors, blend the colors. Sometimes if the colors get too dark and it's not the look I'm going for, I'll just take a light colored pressed powder and put on this and go over my whole lid and sort of coat it with that lighter pressed powder and dilute the color a little bit. So this is a must-have. I use this every day. I love the taper point of it because you can get in your eye socket if you really wanted to. This is also good for hooded eyes because it does allow you with that taper to get on your eyelid, but also when your eye is open to really blend out everything really nicely between your lash line and your brow line. So this is a great one. Again, this is a Morphe M330. The last Morphe brush that I have is an M508, and it is not unlike this Real Techniques one, other than one is a harsher line and one is a softer, smudgy line. And the reason I like this is just because, you know, if this one's not available, then I use this for the same things, just kind of to smudge that line underneath, or if my eyeliner on top, I usually use a gel liner on my lashes. If it is a little harsh, I can always use this to smudge it, and then I can take it right from that corner and pull it out and give it a nice straight line. So these two do sort of the same thing. So if you get one of these in a Real Technique set or one of these in a Morphe set or vice versa, you don't need both of these brushes. I think you can get away pretty much with one or the other. I think if you had to choose one, I'd go with this one because it does offer that straight line and smudging ability, where this one's not quite as straight, but really good control and smudging ability. Smudging ability, is that a word on when you look for brushes? It needs smudge ability. All right, the next ones that are really, really important that I would say you definitely want to have this in your kit is the MAC 242. I've got two of them here. That's the same brush. I don't know why I need to show you two of them, other than they're both clean because I cleaned them all before this video. My brushes are not always this clean, but they have to be for the video. So again, this is a 242 by MAC. This is that synthetic bristle that I talk about a lot with any cream eyeshadows or any cream anything. I use this synthetic type brush. It just really does take the payout from your cream product and where you want it to go, where your non-synthetic bristles will really start to get kind of clumpy with your cream products. So this is critically important if you are a cream eyeshadow or a cream base or a cream primer person. And also for concealer, sometimes I'll use this because again, it's creamy. And I'll just be able to put it right where I want that concealer to go, sometimes under my nose because it gets a little red. So I definitely would make sure that you grab a nice synthetic brush. And again, this is that MAC 242. Then I would also make sure that somewhere in your arsenal you have, this is a Sigma E30, and it is not unlike the MAC 219. They're almost the same exact. They work the same way. Again, price points are a little bit different. So, you know, whichever brand you prefer, it looks very similar. What I love about these is, again, it's short bristles, it's taper bristles, and neither one of them have bristle fallout. And I can't say that I reach for one over the other. I probably got one in a pack, in a kit, that otherwise I don't think I would have bought two of them. But the reason I like this one so much is because I will take a really light highlighter eyeshadow and just put it right in the corner of my eye. And then I'll also take this one and just go underneath my brow. So I really, really highly recommend that you have this brush and a synthetic brush in your arsenal. Then I would recommend for sure having a synthetic brush. I'd also make sure that you have a nice tight brush for smudging, and then a nice fluffy brush to blend it all together. And then the last one that you would probably want to make sure that you have in your arsenal, and this is a Sigma E70, is a medium angled brush for your shadows. Now, what I love about this one is this nice angle right here, so that it does allow you to go right into your eye socket and blend your shadows together. It allows you to put your shadows there. And if you saw that tutorial on your eyeshadow, to make sure that you've got one that can go 4 times across your lid, this one also does that. So you can deposit some color, 1 color, 2 colors, 3 colors, lighter color as you get in, and this will allow you to do that. Now, if that looks too big for your eye socket, then replace this with a brush that is small enough to go 4 times across from your outer eyelid to your inner eyelid, or you may need one that's larger. But make sure that you have a fluffy eyeshadow brush that can do that, and you'll get almost any look out of it. Whatever size you get though, you do want to make sure that it's that angled brush so that you can get sort of at that angle of the way your eye angles in. Okay, well, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Those are the must-have, if you will, for your eyes. And then for your face, I definitely think you need a good powder brush. You could intermix your loose powder and your bronzing powder together. You don't need 2 brushes. I just find it easier so that I'm not putting on powder and then going over it somehow with some blush or some bronzer, or worst case scenario, you think you're putting on a powder and you end up with bronzer all over, because then that's just, you gotta almost start over at that point. A nice good tapered blush brush. If you use a powdered blush, I prefer cream, but when I do use powder, I reach for this. And then a nice, especially as we age, a nice loose type highlighter brush, just to give you that inner glow that you're looking for. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. Thank you so much for requesting it. If there are other videos that you're interested in that I have not done yet, and you want to see something, or there's a new product that comes out, whatever it is, leave me a comment in the comment section below, and I will research it and get a video out if it makes sense. And other than that, I hope you like this video. Give it a thumbs up if you do. And as always, please be a subscriber. If you're not already, hit the subscribe button so that you're notified when a new video comes out, which is twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.